Hi there and welcome to Secure Your Mind podcast, episode 3. We're back in Scotland after I've been helping this man champion his security and making it all
It's
nice
been very
and secure.
necessary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's been a couple of months, crazy months. We're back, but it's good to have you back again.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell me, what are the current states since we last spoke? What has the current state affairs of what has happened in the last few months?
Well, recently Manchester University got hacked. Nobody knows what data was actually accessed and leaked.
Which is really scary considering we don't know who it is who did this. We don't know what they've taken. I fear for these students. Well, they must be so scared right now.
Yeah, I mean, if they've taken your information, it's a bit of
for forever. You've gone into university to start your career, and you have in the back of your head, these guys have siphoned my information. Are they taking my going to make me have to pay more for my student loan?
Well, it's expected that if you're paying $9,000 a year for tuition, and there's so many people paying, that you would expect a university
ridiculous.
to
Thank goodness
be very
for
secure.
Free education. so you need things to be secure, and that's crazy.
Well, this is data on it could be both students and staff. And the fact that they don't know what information was accessed kind of tells you that their cybersecurity posture isn't as good as it should be. In cybersecurity, we have something called zero trust architecture, where you basically design systems so that no individual user or computer on a network is essentially to be trusted. You treat every device or entity as it could possibly be a hacker, because it could be, someone's computer could be
I'll give you
infected.
something that's happened recently and why Aidan has come back to the studio. We were going through our networks, and we have a NAS system, and we were running things were getting a bit slow, and we didn't really know what was going on. So we removed the NAS system, and there was a computer underneath that was named PN Hub 1, which is it's a ridiculous name. Whoever came up with that.
Very suspicious name.
No one knows what and why that was done. But we needed you to come up and check this, because that could have been a huge, the Manchester things, our information could have been leaked. Thank goodness you were here to do a pen test and to make sure that everything was nice and secure.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been even worse. It could have been somebody who had hacked into your network, and they could have been doing malicious things. Maybe they could be using your server as a jump point, essentially as a proxy server, so a server in the middle of doing something malicious.
And me, as a crazy paranoid business owner, I was worried that the government was watching me.
I mean, they're watching everyone, I think, so.
That is very true. I've read a little bit about the whole Chinese surveillance, and you were actually telling me about that before. Before we get into that, I've got a little surprise. I know we're in Scotland, the birthplace of whiskey, but I thought I'd get something that was kind of essential to us. And you are my mythical beast. You're my Mr. Robot.
Thank you.
Aidan McDonagh, the legend and drinking buddy from school. It's been a while since we've last drunk, but
that's very true.
We have got the mythical beasts.
And he said this wasn't an advert, but
this isn't an advert, but we're going to plug them because this stuff looks incredible. Look at that. I'm one-armed. Sorry, but we're going to do this. No. Yes, please. Oof, that sounds good.
Ginger.
Slange. What is going on in China?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, lots is the short answer. I mean, recently we've had just constant bombardment of hacking. There's a type of hacker that we call a advanced persistent threat, or an APT. And
what is an APT?
Well, it's a state-backed hacker.
Cheers.
So cheers. It's a state-backed hacker. So essentially, the likes of Russia, China, they will pay a group of people, or maybe an individual, to essentially hack on behalf of them, and they'll essentially fund them. Wow. So they'll have teams of hackers who will be hacking other countries. China is quite renowned for doing that, so much that countries like Australia have developed an anti-hacking task force.
Kind of like the Space Force of America.
Yeah, but with hackers.
And I think that actually makes a bit more sense. Yeah, fair.
And like Singapore, they've got quite a big financial district. And it seems quite silly because the majority of Singaporeans are Mandarin speaking, and yet the Chinese choose to hack the Singaporean like financial district and their government, and they've gotten sick of it, so they've started developing a cybersecurity hub as well.
Mental.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I mean,
how are you involved in this? Like, I hear that you're connected to the takedown of the Hong Kong, the umbrella protest. Apparently, who knows? Or hearsay there, smoke in the wind.
Well, as I said before, I'm a good boy. I'm a white hat hacker. So my job is just to protect the likes of myself and my friends, my family, and people that
need people who need your help.
Yeah. And I mean, recently, the UK, as well as most countries, have been hacked by China, and so in response to that, people like myself are trying to learn more about cybersecurity so that we can help develop protections and mitigations against.
And you're fighting against the government because, like, you have to think about, like, China. Like, this is it's like.
I mean, you're fighting against a whole country because it's they're state sponsored. They're backed. They're paid by them. So
is there similarities in America? Do we have the same sort of thing? Is that
I mean,
not America, like the UK, America, all these different countries. Like you said, the task force. Yeah. But like, are these guys going and maliciously hacking it as well, or are they doing it more as a this stuff is strong. A preventative measure?
No, I mean they're essentially hacking into government agencies. They're trying to extract and exfiltrate data. They're trying to shut down systems. They're trying to cause financial damage.
Not the Australians we're talking about, the Chinese here.
Yeah. So like I said in episode 1 about the supply chain attacks, essentially. This is what they're doing, but they're doing it on a government scale. They're targeting the government, or they're targeting businesses. Maybe they'll target Google, because if you can infect Google, you can
one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, you can infect just like so many things. Whether they're devices or websites or whatnot. So businesses have to be able to defend themselves, and that's what I want to help them do.
So are you currently now, what sort of things are you doing in your business to prevent that?
Well, that's a great question. So, what I can do is I can provide training, and I can teach and coach people about what a hacker will do. Maybe if you're developing an application, I can help you basically write secure code. I can help you essentially bring in security into your pipelines and better protect yourself against the possibilities of attacks. So it's both.
Here at the Upload Studios, we are incredibly worried about the Chinese government hacking us.
Well, you never know.
You never know. Like, sadly, like right now, it seems like we're more like dealing with the old Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy setup. But you know what I mean? You never know.
I mean, no one can ever say that they're not possibly a target. Everyone's a target. Having
a friend like you really helps with my paranoia, Aidan. Like,
I can say most hackers will suffer from paranoia because it's just one of those things that when you understand the game, it's so easy. It's easy for people to hack these days, and that's why it's becoming a bigger problem.
So, for someone who doesn't know anything really about cybersecurity and has had to really rely on you quite heavily to get this stuff all sorted, what would you suggest for an individual as someone who runs this stuff, and also something for some business owners, what they can do to secure their network? Like, why would they come to you?
Oh, well, that's a great question. Perhaps they don't know whether they are secure or whether they're not secure.
Fair,
and so I'd be able to evaluate whether your business is secure. If you're holding customer data, you have a higher priority on bringing security to that business to make sure that you're safe and secure, and you're not likely to be hacked. That that's the main goal. So what I can do is I can come in, I can evaluate, and I can help you essentially mitigate any sort of issues that might be there, help you increase your security on your network. People forget how easy it is to actually hack. For me, it can take me 5 minutes. If somebody's using an easy password for their router, or they're using an easy password for a
Which
website.
the majority of people do, because they just use their mum's name, or they use some really like silly thing rather than...
And most people will use the same password on multiple different websites.
Idiots.